with what we've done, because we don't actually stop to think about what we've done. We just keep going, we just keep getting on with it and thinking about our contestants and stuff. But I don't know, I guess, I know, we wouldn't be accepting those awards if it wasn't for our contestants. That's how I kind of feel. So then it just shows that they've had a great time.
Yeah.
The glitz and glam is the fame, but it's the work backstage that makes the game. I'm Christelle and LaVey Blundell, your host. Come with me behind the lens and watch their stories unfold. Our next guests here on Behind the Lens is a powerful mother and daughter duo here in Australia. They are the directors of Miss and Mr. Diamond Australia. I'm really excited to hear more about their backstory. What's really the true purpose and story behind their pageant system and how things are run in Miss and Mr. Diamond Australia. So please welcome onto Behind the Lens, Charlie and Morgan Mancini.
Let's talk about the pageant you've created now. So it's been since 2016 here in Australia. After 2 years over in the UK, you went on to do it here in Australia. Why have you decided? What was the turning point to create your own pageant again here in Australia?
Well, we wasn't here very long before we started Diamond. It must have only been a couple of months, and we'd said when we left that obviously we wouldn't be doing it because we didn't know the Australian pageant community. We didn't know anything Australian. We'd never been to Australia before. Like it's a very different way of life. There's all the, just the culture and it's all different. So how could we possibly just start running a pageant in a country that we just don't know very well?
Yeah.
We knew the English pageant industry quite well, having entered all the pageants. We've been around the pageant scene. We knew people. We didn't know anyone here. We're like, why would you even? We was like, where do we even start? How are we going to get contestants here?
Yeah.
And weirdly, we had a very good response very early on to the pageant, and it was almost we didn't experience too much hostility. No. We did get a question from a couple of mums saying, "Who are you guys?
Who are you?
And where have you
come from?"
I was like, "Oh, this is a very close community here of pageants. This is this is nice." And then we explained where we'd come from and that we'd run pageants in the UK. We're not just new. We're not random.
Yeah.
And we're running a pageant here, and it was I mean, for the first pageant here, it was so much more successful than I ever had thought it could have been, because we just didn't know anyone and we didn't know how people would react to our kind of pageantry here, because it was a new thing here. So I was very, very surprised with how good the response was for the first one. And I think that's what spurred us on to make it bigger and better every year.
Then what was the planning process like for you guys the first time round? You didn't know anyone and didn't really know exactly everything about the pageant community here in Australia or how things are run here. How did the planning process go about for you girls?
We just stuck to our guns, didn't we? We had to stick to our guns and our principles and why we did it in England the way we did, and we came here and we just stuck to our guns. It was everything we went through the hard way, all the prizes and all that, it was like starting from scratch. Where do you start? The venues, it was a whole new ball game.
Well, even down to pricing, because
pricing is
very different.
Gosh.
Because of the conversion to when we see it as pounds to dollars, and we at that point we're still thinking, is this expensive or is
we
this
had
cheap?
No idea if it was
is
expensive.
This cheap or is this expensive? And you're doubling everything in your head, and it's just trying to even work out a budget in the beginning was so hard, because you have to try and understand what how much venues here cost and how much everything costed, and where to source everything from, and all those kinds of things are very, very interesting. And I have to say, we had some hurdles and some tricky parts, but you know, we did get there in the end.
Yeah.
And the first one was definitely the hardest because I think we took on way too much. We were sourcing our own sound system, we sourced our own backdrops, we had to get the venue to repaint the stage, we had to
We did
like
a lot of stuff. Yeah, we did.
yeah, there's some crazy things that happened in the first one. Yeah,
It was hard.
and then
It's always the first one.
Yeah.
That first step of doing it is always the hardest. But you know, you guys pull through
Yeah.
and you come back every year. And I'm sure that just listening to you guys today and talking to you guys are going to continue improving it every year, I feel like.
getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we just don't know how much bigger we can handle. I mean, we're just like how much bigger can we get?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It's all right. I feel like you guys have got this well underway. You know, as the family gets bigger, your team will get bigger. You have better support, and you know, if it gets bigger, that's amazing because it means that that's a really good sign for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, our venues are huge this year, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean, our venues have got bigger and bigger, but this one we're having 2 venues over 2 days, so yeah, because it's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, you mentioned the first one, you guys were kind of sourcing everything yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And did you mean like it came out of your own pocket?
Oh, it always comes out of our
It
own
always
pocket.
comes out of our own. Yeah, especially since the first
Oh
year.
gosh.
Like I said, we was so unsure of how to price everything. Like, normally our event is run solely off the sponsorship fees from the contestants. So being new into the industry and being the first one and being new to Australia, and we didn't want to overprice us. We didn't want people to say, "Who are you coming in here and charging all these extravagant sponsorship fees?" So we had a very low sponsorship fee, which never quite covered the budget in the end. So it was coming out of our own pocket. But I've always said that this isn't a business for us. This is a hobby for us. So if we are putting money in out of our own pockets just to make it that bit extra, to put something extra in the goodie bag, to, you know, give everyone those tiaras and the sashes, like, that's okay for us, because we're not here to, this isn't a business for us. So we're not ever here to make, you know, we're not going to make our millions out of it.
No, but people never actually understand that this isn't a business. No, rightly or wrongly, and that's a long conversation. But I remember the second year, this was a real thing that happened. Our venue had double booked, so they broke the news to us, and then it was literally 3 days before the pageant. Then they told us, "Oh, by the way, you can't have the stage." So, like, Morgan Savins just went bang straight onto the stage. We had to hire a stage, and so it's always it's always the unknown that can happen. But we couldn't have a pageant without a stage, so it's tough. We tough it out. But I think the whole year and the interactions we have and the experiences we've had, it's almost like a small price to pay, whatever it is. It's just, you know, our family do give us a bit of a bad time, don't they? Can you not talk about pageants? Like,
everything's about the pageants. Our whole lives revolve around the pageants.
we get banned from talking about it. If we go out to dinner, they're like, no pageants.
No pageant talk.
No pageant talk.
I mean, you can't help it.
I know.
Sometimes you just can't. Like, you've been immersed into the community, and now you're directing your own community as well. Sometimes, you know, ideas will pop in your head, and you just need to talk about it.
I know,
Exactly.
like, I've got to talk to you.
Honestly, the passion that you guys have for these pageants that you're doing every year is incredible. So we mentioned before, with the pageant industry, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of purpose behind these contestants joining, especially for you guys in Miss and Mr. Diamond Australia. You guys really highlight bringing in a charity that they're passionate about and talking about it, why they're passionate about it, and what they're doing to give back to the community. How are you kind of encouraging you have juniors going into this competition. How are you encouraging everyone to choose kind of a charity to support?
So that's actually,
I think initially we say to them, you know, choose your own charity, and I think that's a new concept for a lot of people. People are like, oh wait, I actually can get to choose.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I don't think we do have to encourage it all that much.
They're so good. They're just
and I have to
great.
say, the minis and the juniors, like the younger ones, consistently
do amazing.
And like they just do so much, and they are the most passionate ones, and they are the ones who really want to, you know, their poor mums are like, they're like
I think it's their mummies, but even so, it's
but
just
it's
amazing.
these little kids are, you know, mum, I want to raise more money for my charity, I want to go out there, I want to do more. And it's like the little ones are like, it just amazes you how much energy and passion that they have for these charities. And they do understand, you know, why they're doing it and what they're doing it for. And I think that spurs them on even more. And it's close to their hearts, and they want to do good, and they want to tell the world about what this charity is doing, and they want to support this charity. And it really shows. Like watching some of their video, we have like a media video portion of the competition, so they can film little mini videos of their journey leading up to the competition. It's so nice to see that journey and what they've been doing in the background, and all these events that they're doing, and all the stuff that they're doing for their charity. It's amazing.
And I think what's really amazing is that these kids are learning to be entrepreneurs at an age of 7 and 8 years old. It's just incredible.
It is. And to hear that, you know, they're doing sometimes more work is really interesting.
They do, like they're telling their mums that they want to put their pocket money into their charity fundraising. Like every dollar that they find, every dollar that they get, then every opportunity that they can grab, they want to raise this money for their charity.
And they actually go above and beyond. There's a lot of kids that are actually raising money for their actual charity, but then, like Morgan says, they use their pocket money to go and buy water for a homeless feed, or, you know, stuff like that we've seen along the way. And it's like, they're actually learning something bigger than just their charity. Is that they're actually learning to care about their entire community,
which is why we kind of call them community heroes, and that we're building community heroes, because it kind of it gives you that platform to be able to start doing this, and it, you know, it gets you thinking about raising money and raising awareness for your charity. And then it kind of opens up this door to doing more, and you see more opportunities that you can get involved in, like homeless feeds and other
the bushfires. There was kids grabbing donations, and they all sent it down for the bushfire victims and stuff like that. So lots of stuff along the way that people sort of see a need and they fill a need. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible to see these kids getting involved with all of that.
And then it's not just about raising money for their one charity that they've chosen for the pageant. It becomes so much more than that for them, and it's like then the pageant kind of becomes secondary to them, and then they just want to keep going, and they want to keep doing more, and they want to help more. And then even after the pageant, you see them go on and continue on, and it because you kind of give it to them, and it's their own journey to make, and they get to choose how they want to do this and what they want to do. It gives them that opportunity to grow and go forth with it, really, in their own way.
Or anything in their lives.
Now, I'm also kind of interested, you mentioned before that sometimes it's a new concept, or sometimes people are kind of shocked that they get to choose their own charity. Why have you chosen to do it like that?
Well, I think, you know, previously going into a pageant, the pageant will have chosen a charity to fund. So they'll say our pageants, not always, some did, and they'll say, okay, well, we're raising money for this charity, so we'll have a charity fundraising portion, and the more you raise, the more points you'll get for that portion. And whilst that was great, and that's how we saw that charity aspect of it, and it was, okay, pageants have a purpose now, and you know, it can give you that platform to go out there and do some good with it. You didn't choose that charity, so you don't really resonate with it. And whilst you know it's every cause is a good cause, it's not,
you didn't understand perhaps maybe it was like just say, for example, it was a charity for some really unknown illness or something, and you've never experienced that in your life, and you're like, I don't really quite know what it's for, but I've got to go and raise money for it. And it's kind of like, okay, I get it, that's great, but when you have your own issues, or you have your own people around you, maybe somebody has passed due to cancer or something, or your child has autism, or those kind of things, and it's kind of like, well, shouldn't they be able to raise money for that cause, for the for them to actually be able to go, autism in my family is a huge thing, I want to raise money for autism. And then we saw the results, people actually go, I really, really want to raise money for this because it actually means something to me. And then you see the totals going up and up.
Because it comes from here, like you said. Correct. When it comes from here, there's a better result.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Now, for the pageant as a whole, do you guys have your own charity that you kind of like give back to, or is it this is a platform for them?
It's a platform for them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. That's so cool, because for lots of other pageants, like you said, they go up on stage and speak about the charity that the pageant has chosen. But for them, in their case, they get to bring up their own charity that they're supporting and feel really proud about it. Now, also kind of... Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will say, so parts of this, when they go on stage and they say, this is my chosen charity and this is why I've chosen it, it kind of sparks, it gives them an opportunity to tell their story in a way. And there's some stories that have come out of this that you would never have known what happened. I think like there was one contestant one year, and she was a refugee, and so was her sister, and they got split up and then found themselves years later. And it was just amazing. She was there with her sister, and it was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this. So she was supporting a refugee charity. And you just hear all these amazing stories and all these life experiences, and it becomes so much more than just the charity, because you hear the story behind the charity. And you're like, this is why I've chosen this charity. And it's absolutely amazing.
Is. We used to have centerpieces on our tables. We actually scrapped that idea and we put a box of tissues on the table, because it literally, and you can look into the audience and you will see people sobbing their hearts out because some of the stories are so strong, and it gives these people, and I think, I don't want to keep saying specific people, but I won't say names or anything, but you literally see these people tell their story, and it's like they've overcome something. They can now leave it in the past. I know, a lot of people have actually done that, and it's like, it gives them a rebirth, and it's kind of like, I've told my story, I've done my thing, I'm the new person now. And it's just incredible, and it's like, I don't think we'd ever change that part of our pageant. Never.
I think that's probably what makes it really special as well.
Yeah.
It builds their ability to express themselves. Yeah. Which also builds like a new skill that's going to be really helpful in a lot of different areas in their life. So I think that's really cool that you give them the voice, literally you give them the voice to make a change in the way that they believe they can do it. And after going up there on stage, speaking about their story, it's kind of like a milestone for them as well. If they're able to say it in front of a whole audience, in front of a panel of judges, it's a sense of success almost internally.
Yeah.
And like a sense that you've overcome that challenging part of your life, and you're able to share it and hopefully help other people. Kind of like how you guys face the challenges in the pageant industry, and now you guys are creating your own so that you can create a better community for other people in the pageant industry.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Now, when you guys are going about your pageant, is it just one day, or is it how many days is your competition?
We hold it over 2 days.
Over 2 days. And what happens during those 2 days? So you have an icebreaker first off, and then what else goes on?
I mean, every year we're always improving and changing and adapting. So, but generally our day one, we'll start off with them coming in for their registration, and then we'll do a bit of an orientation. So I'll often do like an introduction to the pageant, like a welcoming thing, you know, setting the tone for the weekend and explaining what's going to happen, how things are going to happen. We've now introduced a team quiz. So one of our sort of another icebreaker activity for them is to do a quiz. So we'll break them up into teams, and making sure there's like a nice even grouping of ages and genders as well. So we get everyone mixed up together, and just to do a really fun quiz and get them all working together. And then the team that wins a medal, and it's really sweet, and it's a nice kind of gets the weekend going with something a little less
pageanty in a way.
Less standard pageanty to do a quiz, and we've thrown some fun questions in there, and we, you know, and it's a lot of fun, and we make it a bit funny, and we make it like just, you know, so it's not taken too seriously, but yeah, it gives them that opportunity, and it's like something else to do. And then now we've also incorporated a private interview as well, and this is a really stressless pageant interview. We try and keep it on, you know, we don't want to make it too stressful for them, and it's more of an opportunity for the judges to get to know them and to give them a bit of a voice on their own outside of the pageant, where there's no audience, or we're not there, you know, just that one-on-one time with the judges. And what we do is we give them a question on the day that they open up on registration, and we actually did give them all the same question. We didn't
tell them that.
No. We
they thought they was getting different questions, but they actually all had the same. It was amazing.
We don't want to give them the question too early in advance, because we don't want it to be too rehearsed. We don't want it to be sprung on them, so then it becomes stressful. So we give it to them on the day, and it's a really easy question. The question was, why do you want to win? And the judges did say, like, it was such a good question because they had so many different responses. Like, it sparked some people to go into their journeys and their backgrounds, and like some people you could really, it was a really good question for them. It was such a simple question with so many different answers. They also, at the same time, they have a private photo shoot with our photographer to get some nice photos, and we also do a big group photo shoot as well. So we did one on the stairs of the Emporium Hotel, which was gorgeous. I absolutely love that photo. Then we give them some yummy lunch, and then we break out for them to get ready for the evening, and then we come back and see everyone for the icebreaker party. Previously has been run on a boat, which was a Brisbane River cruise, but now it's just gotten so big,
too many
people. Can't fit everyone on the boat.
2 boats now.
I don't have time together.
And it's so much fun, like, because we really do have that motto of just like, let your hair down, you don't need heels, kick them off, and just to see everyone just like having so much fun.
Everyone's wearing white as well, so it just looks incredible,
and everyone's just having so much fun partying. We do all these like Domino's pizzas and cake, and it's so much fun, and everyone just has like the best time, and everyone just like, you know, again, making friends, breaking the ice, just having a really fun experience. Like, you've worked so hard for a whole year, this is your time just to, you know, we're kind of giving you this weekend to have fun, and like, you know, to say well done and thank you for your hard work up until this point. You know, tomorrow's going to be the big day, so have a day of fun. So second day is very much straight into rehearsals. We rehearse for an opening number, which we change up every year. And
hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup's going on at the same time. It's a very interesting. I love day 2 because it's like, everybody knows it's the day that you're going to be on the stage, but it's also the last day. So it's really weird because it's like, it's all going to be over tonight, but you still have so much to look forward to. It's very interesting.
And then we go red carpet open, guests arrive, and then the pageant.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And I also love how you kind of have like a fun day / break day almost before the really intense kind of competition where everyone's in that zone, where everyone's kind of like, you know, this is the day that we've been working really hard for. The day before, doing all those kind of activities with everyone that they're competing with the next day. I guess that's where that sense of family comes from. You know, everyone, it's a real icebreaker where they get to really mingle, get to know more about each other, and forget that they're even competing.
Yeah.
feel like?
They
Yeah.
really, really do. I think
Yeah.
everyone does forget that it's a competition up until that point, where probably when the results are, they're like, oh yeah, this is a competition.
Yeah.
Because even right up until that point, like everyone's like everyone's encouraging each other. Like I remember one time we had like a group of children spilling out onto the stage. So everybody just wanted to watch each other.
It was amazing.
And then they're all cheering each other as they come off the stage.
It was brilliant.
And you're like, is this a competition? Like,
It wasn't like a competition at all.
Yeah.
It really was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Oh, that's so sweet, and honestly so heartwarming and adorable to hear, especially to hear that everyone's really supportive of one another. I'm kind of interested to hear from both of you, how do you think you guys built that kind of community, a sense of family, over the stereotypical competitiveness?
I think having been to some pageants and turning up, and you hear from the director for a whole year leading up to it, and you do really look up to the directors of the pageant, and you like the way I saw them was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get to meet the director, like I won't say it, but we were gonna get to see the director. And I remember turning up to one once, and they were there in the car park as we were arriving.
Yeah,
and I'm
we're
like,
so
oh my god, it's the director.
excited, it's the
They're there.
director.
Should I say hi? Oh my god, it's them.
Hi.
And you're like waving and like got
Yeah.
nothing back. I'm
They
like,
didn't even say
oh.
hi. And we were like,
oh no.
oh, it's
And
like that, is it?
Yeah, and
It
like
was horrible.
they were never. It was never like a friendly, welcoming. It was never really.
It's like, queue up over there.
Yeah, it was way more formal than I would
Yeah.
have liked, because if it was me, I would have, as a competitor, I you want to have a warm welcoming. And I think that's sort of where this is spurred on, that we really try and make sure that we are friendly and we're open, and you can come and speak to us, and you can come and we will communicate with you. When people arrive, we do spend that one-on-one time with each person to tick them off and ask them like, how was your journey, welcome to the pageant, don't be nervous, we're here, like, hi, this is us, like, if you need anything, come and speak to us, here's all the other people, like, to just to, and I think that's where it kind of starts. And then being relatable and setting that scene that you guys can just be yourselves. And I think when you're told to just be yourself and you don't have to be this other person, I think people then relax a little bit more, and it makes it easier to I think that's just where it starts off. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly how it's become so family orientated, but I think it's just we're always encouraging everyone to support each other and to go on this journey together. And if you need help, to reach out to each other, because we have a Facebook group where everybody's in that group leading up, and it's nice to start that support early, and everybody's currently supporting each other. And if someone says, hey, I've done, look, I've raised all this money for charity, and everyone's like, oh, well done, that's amazing, so everybody's constantly supporting each other. It's never it doesn't ever feel like a competition against each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like it really just goes back to both of you. Everything, how you guys treat the situations, how you guys treat them. Like you said, you don't treat them with a cold heart. You're always very warming and welcoming and friendly. And I really admire that. I really do. Because I know that there are some people who feel like they aren't valued as much when they're competing, because they don't get that sense of recognition. That even if they're not winning, it feels like they were just there.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
I
don't really know how else to explain it. It's just like they were just there and weren't really acknowledged.
Exactly. And I know that we tried very early on. It was something that we both, when we had that experience, and then we didn't even know where to find somewhere to get a drink. We'd been driving for 4 hours. So we said when we was running in England, we said, we're going to make every single mum a cup of tea, because it was like, it wasn't just the child we were meeting, we was meeting their family, and they're just as important. Obviously now our pageant's a bit bigger. We don't have the time to literally sit down with each person individually, much as we would love to. We but we know that that sense of belonging for each and every child is absolutely critical and vital. So we do try very, very hard to make them so welcome and to give them that respect that they're in this journey too, and we care very much about the families, the mums that have done everything behind the scenes. They're very special. If we could sit down with every single one and have a cup of tea, we would. But I think last year was amazing. We actually did a breakout workshop. Morgan took all the kids and the contestants, and I took all the mums next door, and we actually got behind the skin of sort of Diamond for the parents, just for the parents. I took the parents. I don't know what she did. You did the finalists.
No, yeah, we did a workshop, but very much was the same but more tailored to this. So for the contestants, they was writing a letter to themselves at that point in time, because what tends to happen is you're having such an amazing time and everything's amazing and it's the best time you've ever had in your life, and then you don't win, and then it's all rubbish and I wish you'd never done it, and it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you because you didn't win, and because you're so upset because you wanted it so badly. So what we did is get them to write a letter. Them in that moment where you are having so much fun, and you know, what would you say to yourself if it isn't the outcome that you wanted or expected? What would you say to yourself to future you? You know.
And what did I do? I asked the mums to write a letter to their child regardless of the outcome. And it was just beautiful because the mums were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they was in tears writing these letters because they were saying, look, you're my daughter, I'm proud of you no matter what, win, lose, whatever. And they was to only open that letter after the pageant.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. What made you come up with that idea, kind of separating them and then asking them to kind of pour their hearts out onto a piece of paper to later come back to and give to each other?
I think it's what Morgan touched on. It's that everything's great and then suddenly you don't win, and you know, you get that, oh, I hate everything. But actually to try and sort of analyze that moment, I think was why we did what we did. So I took the mums and I said, look, this is why we're here. I've been through all of this, and I explained all kind of what we're talking about today, getting them to think about actually their behavior. They need to be respectful of the situation. If their child doesn't win, you know, we have had mums come up to us afterwards and give us a bad time. We have had that. And it's kind of like, you don't need to do that. You need just to take yourself away from the situation, have a think about it, and be strong for your child.
Because it's very much, I like to tell, it's not a nice thing to think about, but I like to tell them, okay, so if you don't win, what are you going to get out of this experience? Because you don't want it all to have been for nothing. You will work so hard to come to this point that I understand everybody wants to win that crown, but for most of you in that room, it's not going to happen. So what are some of those things that, okay, I didn't win, but at least I got this out of it. I made some new friends. I built confidence. I raised money for my charity. What are some other things that you can hone in on that is going to make it a lot easier for you moving forward, that when the news comes that you didn't win that top title, you can look back and go, okay, well, it makes it easier, and then that you did get something out of it.
I think it's mentally preparing them as well,
because we don't like seeing anyone upset, and I've been there myself, and I know how hard it is to want something so badly and it doesn't happen. But and we would love to send everybody home as a winner, but at the end of the day, it is a competition. So it's like it's hard. So it's like, okay, and we've been at pageants before where it has been only about the winner, and it's like, what about everybody else?
We'll just walk out.
Yeah.
See you later,
what about everyone else? What about the 50 other people who were here today?
Yeah.
What about
They're
them?
important.
And we care about those people just as much as the winners, because they put so much time and effort, and it does become your whole life for a while. And they put their trust and their faith in us, and have put so much time and energy into us how can we pay it back
Yeah.
in a sense. So we do try and make it an experience and a journey that no matter what the outcome, so you will get something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like building this kind of community is the backbone of how successful it's been?
I think so. I think
it
yeah,
has
I
to
think
be,
it definitely is. Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
I mean, you guys, looking back into kind of your website and your social media, you guys won the best national pageant directors back in 2018, didn't you?
We did. What else did we win? We won
it last year as well. It's 2019.
Yeah, we were
18.
pageant. So Pageant Planet, we got top 10 pageant director, the 2017.
Yeah.
And then the year later we got number 1 pageant directors, and then we won it again the next
Prizes
year.
are behind us. I can just grab it.
And won, yeah, and then won
Yeah.
number 1 pageant as well. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that.
2 years in a row.
And
We
then
could've-
EXA as well. We went there and won 2 awards as well. And
Yeah.
it's become like, whoa.
How does it feel?
It was insane. Like that plane journey back when we won from EXA was just unbelievable. Like, couldn't believe that. Not only are we becoming such a big pageant, and when you look back and then you go, how did we get here? And we can see all these awards that we have, and like now we're award winning. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so surreal. It's never really quite sunk in. I don't
No,
think.
I don't think it
Because
has.
we feel like we've just been plodding along on this journey.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's become this such a big thing, and it's.
Yeah, I think we need to come to grips sometime with what we've done, because we don't actually stop to think about what we've done. We just keep going, we just keep getting on with it and thinking about our contestants and stuff. But I know, I guess, we wouldn't be accepting those awards if it wasn't for our contestants. That's how I kind of feel. So then it just shows that they've had a great time.
Yeah,
They've
we
done-
are so and we wouldn't have won those awards if it wasn't for everybody putting in that feedback and
No.
voting and whatever else it was doing. So we are so grateful to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And like the amount of people who were writing feedback for Pageant Planet and stuff was just incredible to like read it back and go, oh my god, like how many people
Yeah.
have like, it's just insane how
Yeah.
many people. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I think they're just proud of them, really. Yeah.
It's kind of like you've won these awards together, not just
Yeah.
as you two.
I think so.
That's really cool. I love everything that you guys are about, the values that you've built together and kind of put that onto the table for them to take as well, and how you really value also kind of the mind setting. You guys go through that letter as letter to themselves and also letter to the person that they're supporting. I think that's really beneficial for them as well, because obviously when you're in the moment and your name isn't called out for that crown that you were looking at, it can be a little heartbreaking for some. But those letters, I feel like, would have definitely been kind of like, oh yeah, I didn't win, but I got all of these, and sometimes that can be really more valuable than just a crown on your head.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. So what's next for you guys? The next event, obviously because of the pandemic, things have been cancelled, things have been delayed, and we don't really know where this is going to take us. But at the moment, we mentioned before we were talking, you have rescheduled it to 2021. How are you guys feeling about your event coming through 2021?
Oh,
It's sad because we were so excited to meet this year's group of contestants, because we do like live videos with them. We're speaking to them all throughout this year, and we were so close to getting to meet them, and then it got moved again, and it's happened again, and it's like, it's frustrating because we just want to have this experience for them, and we want them to be able to experience this event that they've all been working so hard towards, and to get to see everyone. So it's very difficult having moved it to 2021, but we are trying to think of ways in which we can make up for that lost time. So we've added in a couple of additional awards to be won. We added a fashionista award and gave them something to do in lockdown as well, because like appearances have been put on hold. They can't do any of that, so it's all been a bit very slow, and there's not much going on. So we've been trying to think of things for them to do to keep that journey going whilst everything's a bit uncertain at the moment. In addition to that, we're starting a couple of other things up. So we've just just announcing that we're going to be doing our own pageant coaching. People have asked us in the past whether or not we'd considered doing it. And at the time I was like, I don't know, do I have enough experience? And I think it's come to that point now where I think it's a nice transition and it's a nice addition, and it will be supplement the diamond competition quite well, and it is to offer some coaching services as well.
And I think we recently sparked Cyberface as well, which was something Morgan actually did when she was 15. She actually started her own online pageant at the age of 15 called Miss Cyberface.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, I know.
How did you come about creating an online pageant at 15? I mean, that's what people are doing now.
I know. Yeah.
I remember when you agreed to me doing the first pageant, because it was such a huge expense, like sponsorship fee, hotels, dresses, you said that I had to fund this myself. And obviously at such a young age, I'm not going to have a job, so how am I going to fund this myself? And I decided to come up with an online modelling competition to enter, which was called Miss Cyberface, and we did it all online, and we got so many contestants. And I remember packing all these, God, I remember this all coming back to me now. Yeah, so that's where that came about. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, so that died a death. Obviously, real pageants took over.
Yeah.
But obviously during the pandemic, we're like, hang on.
Yeah, everything went back online. So
we're like, this Cyberface is just sitting there. We've still got the branding and stuff, and we was like, let's reinvoke it. So we did. But my point is that with what Morgan said about the coaching is, we were watching all of these videos of these amazing girls going down, and it's kind of like, oh, if that girl just did that, it was kind of like, it would be lovely to be able to say, hey, do this and actually have a go at coaching. Yeah, so I think that was one thing that was really exciting for you to sort of come up with, Morgs. Diamond Squad. Yeah, coaching.
You guys, I feel like there's way more to you to discover than everything that we've talked about today. I mean, you've just brought up a whole new competition that you had at 15.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be bringing it back. You're incredible. Clearly, you guys were brought up to do this. You guys are doing really great.
Ah.
I mean, I do wonder what we would do if we was to, not just to stop doing it. I don't know what we would do.
I think we have considered it on some times when things are just too much. We're like, oh, we're just not going to do it. It's too much.
This will be the last year.
This will be the last year.
So much going on.
And it's kind of like, and then you picture this big black hole in front of you, and you're like, what would your future look like? I just can't imagine it without it.
Because it's like, well, where will the people go? And
yeah, it's
what
like
will we
darkness.
do?
It's like darkness out there. So it's kind of like, nah, we'll carry on doing it.
Never gonna end.
It's become such a big part of your team, and also a big part of the contestants' lives, especially for those who might not be old enough yet, maybe, who are looking up at their older siblings or someone that they're looking up to. They're like, when I grow up, I'm going to be doing that. Kind of like how you said, when I grow older, I'm going to be Miss England.
Yeah.
There's lots of other little kiddos out there who are thinking the same thing, and then imagine you guys were to just, we're going to stop it. I feel like I would be like, what's going on?
Dreams of, oh my God. That's bad.
Oh, you guys have a big responsibility, but you guys are handling it really well. Your family keeps getting bigger and bigger. And when I say family, I mean like everyone who's joining. Once they join, it's kind of like you stick together as a community, and then you bring more people in to go through this experience, because it's a really good transformation. Everyone needs this, or everyone needs something like this.
Yeah.
Confidence. And anything that you do, whether it be work, studying, or performing, anything like that, you need that confidence in yourself. You need to be able to believe in yourself. And when you're doing these pageants, I feel like that's what you get out of it. Win or lose, you're going to gain some kind of confidence in yourself. And I think it's really cool that you guys really value that as well, especially with the mentality people are going to get out of the experience that they had with you in the competition, and also just feeling like the work that they've done is for them. not just for the pageant, not just for the pageant that you've created, but it's for them and what they believe in. Now, just looking back into the whole pageant career that you guys have, is there anything that you would change?
Oh, I don't think so.
The only thing that I can possibly think of is there is more stuff we would have wanted to do if we had more funding. And one of the things Morgan wanted to do was bring our contestants back for a holiday, all the winners, to actually spend time with the winners on their own. So that's something we might get to in the future. And there's some other bits and bobs that we would just like to expand on or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, just longer time together, being able to see our winners again, all the contestants again. But changing, I'm not sure. No. We've learned along the way. Each time it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, I think there was only one disaster one year that I would have loved to have prevented, but that's probably about it with food and the venue, and that's not our fault. But yeah, I don't know. Better caterers, one venue. Change that. That's really. Yeah.
But I mean, I love that you guys loved and enjoyed it every single bit of the way, and don't think you would ever change anything about it.
No.
You guys are very present, I feel like, in the moments that you are in this competition and directing. Now, looking at the pageant system as a whole, so not just Miss and Mr. Diamond Australia, what do you think you want to see more of, or what do you wish to improve in the pageant industry as a whole?
Gosh.
It's ever changing, and it's come so far. I think I feel like, I don't want to say like it's dying off, but I feel like maybe I wish it was just a bit bigger and a bit more well known. Like we're definitely not the type of people to not want there to be other pageant systems. You know, I think it's great for people to be able to experience different pageant systems and find a system that's for them. You know, Diamonds isn't for everyone, and maybe they might, but it might be a stepping stone or a starting point, or it might be an end point. You know, we've had people come from other pageant systems to ours, and you know, and vice versa. And it's just, you know, as a previous competitor, I loved experiencing different pageants. So it's kind of nice that pageants are different and they have their own differences and they all focus on different things, because then you get to experience so many different things. Probably be a bit boring if everybody was all the same.
Yeah.
But I think I just wish it will go in a direction where it will get bigger, and there will be more pageant systems, and people will be encouraged to do more and make it bigger and get more recognition, because it's better for everyone when it is that way, and it's more well known. It will be, you know, it makes it easier for us to find sponsorship and funding, and, you know, advertising, and, you know, publicity for, like, if we're all doing it and we're all, you know, building an industry, but if nobody knows about it, it makes it a lot harder. And then it gives other contestants opportunity to come to us, because once you've done one, you kind of then find the industry, and you like kind of go around, you know, all the other pageants. You kind of then step into the industry, and it would be nice for it to be a bit bigger. I think
More pageants.
more pageants.
more pageants. Getting more involved, getting more people involved, and getting more people through that transformation process that you go through.
Definitely.
That'd be really cool. I feel like it would benefit a lot of people.
It's
now for you, wonderful women, honestly, as the directors of this pageant, what do you feel like your message is, or your most important advice for other directors?
Gosh, I guess, you know, we're not so au fait with the actual pageant systems in Australia. Like you didn't do that many in this country, but I reckon it would just be like, it's just making a better experience for the contestants. Just really like think about where these kids should come from and go to. You know, you can have a short period of time with that director, make it the best you possibly can.
I mean, something that we always do is to put ourselves in the shoes of the contestant, and have everything we do, we always think about it from their perspective as well as ours, and I think that that's something all directors should do, and I think that will make everything better.
That's awesome. I love it. You guys are amazing people. I can't say it enough. Honestly, you guys are doing incredible, from the experiences that you've had in the industry, kind of turning it into a beautiful garden, honestly, and adding more flowers into it. Almost like bringing in more beauty out of the people that you're welcoming into your world, and making a better impact in them so that they can make a better impact in their community in their own way as well. It's really cool. I'm so honored to have been able to chat with you girls today. Charlie and Morgan Mancini, thank you so much for being here on Behind the Lens. I had such a pleasure, and I'm sure many other people, whether they're directors or contestants, would have learned at least something, or maybe even people who are interested in joining the pageant world. They are now probably going to be even more intrigued and excited to get into it. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
They're doing some incredible job. I know I've heard of their pageants before, I've heard of their shows and events that they've been doing, but to actually sit down and chat with them today is such an honor and a pleasure, because I've learned why they're doing everything that they're doing has a purpose. They're not only making a change in themselves as the directors of these pageants, but also in the people that are participating, and also the support systems of those who are competing in these competitions. You know, the pageant system, sometimes it can be a little ugly, but these girls have seen it all, and they've changed it. They've shifted it to become an absolutely amazing experience for everyone, one that's going to put them through a transformation that will bring the best out of them at the end of the journey, win or lose. There is a winner in all of us. With or without the crown, we can do some incredible work. I'm sure that you guys would have learned some amazing things from Charlie and Morgan today, whether you're a contestant, interested contestant, or a supporter yourself. Make sure that you are liked in all of our social media pages and subscribe to our YouTube channels, and I will see you all next time.